All right, so I'm at a cable park with the food forest. If you remember our video from Naples with Erica Clough for that market garden she did for that hotel, she also was a part of this project. So really something else here. You know, come to the Florida Keys. This is on Marathon. Here's a little botanical garden sign. This is a giant moringa covered in pods. You can see they've started the intent of an awesome food forest here. You know, zero waste facility. They've got solar panels on the roof. Matty really found permaculture and kind of went all out. He's really doing some awesome things. They've got a kitchen getting ready to go in. They're going to start doing smoothies. You see there's Mexican sunflower, coconuts, longevity spinach, chickens. I know he's got avocados, soursop, some more bananas over here on this side. This place is awesome. Really a 47-acre site. He said him and the airport are the only ones that have this much road frontage here on the whole island. You know, he got this property kind of for a steal, if you ask me, for being in the Keys, 47 acres, 600 foot of frontage right on the highway. You can see, I mean, this is a young planting. Things grow quick. You know, they're doing some really awesome stuff out here. Already got bananas hanging, you know, seed pods on the moringas. There's probably been about 20 people that have come in and out for the cable park since I've been here. He said that's already paying for itself. They do a camp program with kids, really teaching kids about zero waste, composting, recycling. He's got some really awesome intentions out here. They're doing a lot of trash cleanup in the mangroves. This is a really awesome site. Probably one of the coolest sites I've been to, and what's really neat is it's young. You know, it's still in that development process. So give this place a couple years. I have a feeling you're gonna be hearing about this cable park. The intentions out here are awesome. You know, the start that's already happened here, I mean, they're doing some stuff. They're not fooling around. It looks good. I can't wait to come back next year and see the progress, so check it out. All right, I think Maddie's gonna actually give us a tour of this place before we get out of here. All right, Maddie, show us around. Show us what you got growing on here.
All right, so one of my favorite things about all of this is that in creating an eco-resort, we actually took something that was, you know, once developed and destroyed and left to kind of die and rot, and we've completely revitalized it. So the biggest thing is, you know, been taking all of this leftover stuff and trying to figure out how to repurpose it. So like a gazebo out of an old water gas degassing tower. That was this big cement pad that was right here. Then we had these old shipping containers that were actually lobster cooling stations that were located in this back section. And you'd remove invasive plants, find your next pile of trash, remove invasive plants, next pile of trash, then scrap the dilapidated trailers, and then figure out how to rework the space in the best way possible, kind of true to what it once was as just a big upland hardwood hammock. So
pretty exciting.
Yeah, with the restaurant over here, this is kind of the epicenter of the whole island marketplace. We'll have our, you know, our old laboratory building revitalized into a new surf shop. We'll have a commercial kitchen, offices on the 3rd floor. And we're working on either a rum distillery and or a zip line exit point for the 2nd floor.
Wow, and you guys just redid this and put solar on here, you said?
We just redid this whole thing. So it was an old 1989 metal building that was a giant laboratory, and 1,600 square feet of solar panels on top. There's 66 panels that not just offset our whole consumption, but feed back to the grid and get a nice net meter check every month. And then 1,600 square feet of retail on the bottom floor, and then 3 of these floors all gone down to 2 gutters that will be into 5,000 gallon cisterns that will irrigate the back and the front of the whole property.
Very nice.
In here we've got, this is the actual former septic tank that used to get worked. We've hooked into the whole sewer system and then filled all of this in with as much mulch as we could possibly fit in there and kind of abandon it. So this is a nice raised up section, and if you actually come back down into here, you've got about, you know, 10 to 12 inches thick of like deep, rich, thick black compost. It's beautiful.
That's not too common down here in the Keys, is it?
You never see it. Everything is just the cap rock and the lime rock with basically sand and whatnot. So the moringas give us the nice filtered sunlight and create a canopy. This thing's only about 2.5 years old, and you see how great it's going, and we do a lot of trade with the seed pods and everything, and we actually harvest, dehydrate the leaves, and sell moringa powder.
Very cool.
Things like the Mexican sunflower do, you know, the same thing, create a little canopy, act as windbreak, and also act as the green manure to kind of redrop into it. And then we've got our big staple fruit trees that hopefully will take over the canopy over the long term and give us that, you know, good hardwood kind of long-term growth. So sapodillas, You've got an avocado in here, a guanabana inside of that.
What is this with the fruit? Noni or something?
This is a noni
It
right
is,
here.
okay. All
yeah. So you've got a noni right here. This is a jackfruit.
There's a jackfruit. Wow.
Just gone. Got an allspice right here that still needs to go into the ground. Rulinias. That's a mangosteen that just got revitalized too. So
Oh, this little guy? Wow.
A lot of this stuff gets given to us. People that just kind of neglected it at their own home and got it to the point of it dying, and they bring it to us and ask us to try and save it. So hopefully I can. Another jackfruit up there. Sapodillas I'm personally partial to, and everybody thinks that it's an invasive down here, but they never actually tried it, and you kind of introduce them to these fruits and they're like, I can't believe I've been watching these things rot on the ground my whole life.
You know, they're so wind and salt tolerant. That's
Yeah.
probably the best tree you guys could be growing too.
It's amazing. So then we've got this is a Kent mango.
Kent, nice late season.
Yeah, and so all of our mangoes are different seasons, so we'll have a longer mango season.
I see a cinnamon hiding there.
That's a cinnamon right here.
Nice.
You've got your red dwarfs in here. This is probably the most diverse banana circle out of everything. So these, I do believe, are Mysores in this big stack right here. These are the Grand Mains right here. You have your red dwarfs right behind us.
I saw that beautiful stem. Yeah.
This is a sweetheart right here, a little pinker hue to it. This goes a beautiful red flower. The bloom on this, when your finger drops, it's like a giant red sunset. And then you've got your green dwarfs on the side over here. And then that one over there is actually the largest one on the whole, and it's called a Candrian, and that thing will get 14 to 18 feet tall.
We just planted some, yeah, they get huge at the base.
So I had one that got all the way up and was about to flower, and a 70-mile-an-hour wind came
Took it
through
down?
and
Oh.
so that was his only pup that we saved.
I love it.
He's following me right in.
What is this, some Gollingal?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So we've got a bunch of random little Erica Klopp.
I see the pigeon pea, the Gollingal.
Yep,
I love it.
Peas, like as a little kid, I spent a lot of time down in the Virgin Islands.
Gandules or?
I ran sailboats out of Tortola for years, but aside from, you know, my
Tortola,
main island, British Virgin Islands.
Nice.
So I would do captain like day charters or bareboat charters out of Roadtown and Sofer's Hole in Tortola, and tour people all around the British Virgin Islands on kiteboarding trips.
Wow.
But you'd show up to these spots, and aside from my affinity for all sorts of nice rums, you'd have these amazing meals of just, you know, nothing but pigeon pea and coconut rice and all of the fresh fish that you would catch. So,
wow.
So to be able to come back here and then start to grow all this stuff, it's like this amazing nostalgic meal, because we go out and we'll spear our own fish and harvest our own pigeon peas, and then we'll actually have like Polynesian coconut graters to crack your coconuts. We bread our own fish with our dehydrated coconut meat and stuff like that. The bananas are going to start getting phased out of this whole area. We just started to add a lot of undergrowth stuff like coffees, brought in a couple cacaos and other things, but the bananas are going to begin to be phased out of here, and we're really going to let the slow growth fruit trees take off in the center of them. Good. You've got your herbs. These are chocolate habaneros.
Chocolate habaneros, nice.
Yep. They're looking a little red, but you see this guy's got a little bit more of a brown hue to it, so these just got harvested like crazy. We do a Keys Cable Calypso hot sauce.
Calypso hot sauce,
Yeah.
I love it.
Allspice.
They're allspice made to ground. So that is a guanabana.
This is our guanabana in here. This guy had a little bit of a scale problem, but he's just bouncing back from it right now.
And they look really similar to the sugar apples while small.
Yeah, real similar. And then we've got a normal lychee. Lychees, we're not sure. I've had it flower and start to fruit, but it didn't take. But if it will, it'll do so in the next year. But we might not get enough cold down here actually, so we might need to phase this guy out and bring it up north, and we'll actually replace it with rambutan, the more tropical version of it.
Yeah. They say they need chill hours below 68 degrees. You're not getting much of that,
You don't get much of that. You know, 50 degrees in the Keys, people start freaking out and hibernating. So. You've got Huang Tung Carambola.
Nice. That's a good variety. Nice and wind protected. I know that was Erica Klopp's doing, huh?
Super protected in here. Erica did, you know, I kept asking her constantly, like, hey, where do I put this? Where do I put this? And she's like, I don't know. You know, where do you want to put it? Where does it want to go? And we kind of came around after a couple weeks and placed things in places, see how they liked them. And then I loaded enough mulch in here to get it up to the top of those concrete blocks.
And it's come down
and
since?
It's settled all the way down since. And you can see where the paint line is when we painted the blocks. It's settled that far in from there. So
that's an incredible drop. Yeah.
This was literally a pile of trash here. We scraped it, all of the trash away from here. And I just, like, absolute junk. And mountains of beer cans that we took to the recycling center and everything that you could imagine. And we scraped it down to where it was, you know, bare, clean soil and caprock, and just loaded it up with enough mulch to basically create this soil base. So we let the male papayas go. They're wild. They don't really fruit
Not
for
fruiting,
us.
Yeah.
But what they do for us is we sell a lot of cocoa frios, and we'll go around and harvest coconuts, and we'll make all of our own straws out of papaya leaves.
Oh.
Instead of selling the plastic straws or giving away single-use straws, everything is a plant-based papaya stem. So the skinnier ones are great. It's also a great pollinator attractor. As you can see, you got the little zebra butterflies on here. I'm looking at bumblebees. All sorts of good stuff in here. So we have a little sign in the front that says "Don't piss off the fairies," and you walk back in here and you really feel like you're in the Never Never Land.
So I love it. Before you know it, you'll be producing sugar cane too, then you got straws for that.
Yeah, we got our sugar cane here. So for Guarapo, the sugar cane's going to get propagated and planted in all those berm lines in between the artist village. We actually have about 15 key limes. Most of them are at my house right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. I'm a big key lime guy. So we still have 40 hives out in the mangroves, and
really?
Those are constantly, you know, black mangrove honey is probably our biggest seller here, and it's as cool native as it gets. There's no commercial agriculture in the Keys. We're one of 2 agricultural properties in the Keys. Here in Grimmel Grove is actually licensed. We opted out of an agricultural licensing because of how rare it is. It would have actually boosted our property value.
Oh, wow.
And caused us
more taxes.
Tax.
Yeah.
So we did not do that. And this is all just considered environmentally sensitive upland hammock instead of agricultural. But out in the mangroves, with no commercial agriculture, our pesticide and fertilizer usage is minimal at best. We work really closely with mosquito control, so we don't do any adulticide spraying, which is a non-selective 70% kill rate for all flying pollinators.
Oh, wow.
So when you see the truck come through buzzing away the mosquitoes for the tourists, then all of a sudden you see on your lights it's collected with dragonflies and ladybugs and butterflies, and they all die in the next day. Without spraying that, we've seen the life of all of these pollinators completely bounce back over the couple of years, and the bad pests that were an issue, like aphids, whiteflies, and the other things like that, have all been naturally taken care of by the beneficial pests as well. So
you said the mosquitoes have even gotten better, right?
Mosquitoes have gotten better, no-see-ums have gotten better, and as the life in the soil and, you know, the habitat kind of revives, everything has gotten better. You know, the adulticide spraying is like an immediate solution, but instead of doing that, we treat our standing water with gambusia fish, and we also use a organic bacteria-based BTI, so it's all pellet-based spot treatment. And like me and my mosquito control guy, Michael, you're the man.
Wow.
He knows this property probably second best to me, and we walk around and treat every single puddle on site. So any standing water that we have. We actually did a really cool TV show at Discovery Channel about the issues with globalization and free trade, dealing with worsening mosquito problems because of plastic pollution floating in and holding standing water in places that normally wouldn't.
Oh, wow.
So with the Aedes aegypti mosquito, there's a big fear of Zika virus and all that stuff down here. So we were taking these guys and these scientists out in the mangroves and doing test samples in puddles that were collected in trash and different things like HDPE, 5-gallon buckets, big barrels and things that float in with the tide. And you'd find how drastically trash from free trade and globalization can actually increase the potential risk for harmful mosquitoes in areas that would normally just have like a native mangrove mosquito. So all sorts of far out stuff that we really kind of dived into. But little pineapple patches, and then, you know, this is just amazing native hardwood hammock back here. So as, you know, diverse as it gets down here in the Florida Keys, there's a beautiful tamarind that's trying to reach its way up.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, yeah.
There.
What's your common hardwood down here?
Common hardwoods, buttonwood is probably like the more upland one. We get our buttonwoods or sea grapes. We've got 3 or 4 different types of palms right here. So thatch palm, keys palm, sable palm. I brought a couple biologists down here that absolutely lose it because Grassy Key has a couple different varieties of different wild lilies and palms that are literally endemic to this 4-mile stretch of just Grassy Key. So things that don't exist anywhere else in the world, we're lucky enough to have this here. And with the 49-acre parcel being what it is, it's actually one of 3 undeveloped parcels of land right here in the Middle Keys. It's over 50 acres. And I don't see the other ones because of their price tag being able to be developed, but it's kind of this awesome little safe haven amidst all of the development that's going on. And we've kind of guaranteed this to be private reserve as long as we are in control of it, which looks like is going to be for a very long time. So it's pretty cool to see things stay the way that they naturally were and should be.
So what's been your number one key to success?
Oh, just never stop.
Yeah. Never stop, no.
Just hard work, man. Like everything was cap rock. So we literally had no soil. So the community is amazing down here, and because it's so small, some people call these things down here like the Bubba system, and it's really about getting to know and getting to work with your local community to sort of maximize the resources that are so limited but also available down here. So working with different landscapers, I work with this amazing kind of closed circuit landscape and lumber system where I collect different trees from local landscapers that get these permits from wealthy people that want to cut down a big Cuban mahogany, and I'll take their mulch, but I'll also take their big logs. Then I work with artists that have a sawmill in Stock Island. We'll mill the wood and use it for all of our fixtures in our shops and our craftsmen's shops and our retail spaces. But then we also collect all this native mulch from the guys who have the county contracts. We work with the electric co-op. We just installed 66 solar panels on the top of our
the building over here?
Roof of our building.
So you've actually cleaned up the waste stream out here. Literally.
Incredibly so. And because the electric co-op is a separate cooperative from FPL, they're actually buying power from Turkey Point, so we have a net meter rate that is almost dollar for dollar what we're buying from the mainland on the nuclear power plant, which is affecting the Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority's water supply for all of the keys. Last year there's big news issues with
injecting
tainted, what are we going to do with the waste, and we got all these different isotopes that are appearing in our water. So now we have about 2 5,000 gallon cisterns that we're going to be putting into the building that will irrigate all of our food forest stuff back here, and we're going to try and collect as much of our water. We have a big filtration system, but with RO you have so much wasted water and things like that we don't really want to go that route for it. So we're trying to, water is the last bit of the equation, because right now we've got the power. We've implemented a massive recycling program on site, so our waste has gone down to relatively zero, aside from the real construction stuff that it's super hard to do. But all of our materials, when it comes to building something new, we just ran out of a couple umbrellas that were given to us, so that I had the boys learning to thatch palm all day yesterday, and we're going to make our own little covers and everything. So
that is awesome.
It's kind of like full circle back to old island living. If you didn't have a road and a Home Depot to go to, how can you make all this stuff work for you instead of just feeding back into the consumer cycle?
You remind myself. I mean, you found the permaculture and you're connecting the dots already. You're closing the streams. I mean, I love it.
So for me, it's I move in about a million directions at once. I drink way too much coffee. That's probably a great source.
We had a Cuban coffee this morning. I feel you. I'm trying to calm down.
Yeah, it's all day long. Colada's got you buzzing.
He's not joking. They will give you a buzz. All right.
But it's been literally just don't stop and keep trying to figure out how to improve everything. Keep people happy, keep the local education up, and work with the community to make this place bigger and better. The next big push that we're going to do as far as the things that we'll offer on site is we've been working on an aerial adventure park. So, we're all big little kids, so we really like all of our sports and everything. And basically think of like your summer camp ropes course meets Ninja Warrior. And so a lot of people that we get issues with, they don't want to go in the water, which is interesting because they came to an island which is surrounded by water. But we want to be able to offer things in the colder months of 60 degrees in January. People want to do these zip lines and these little challenge courses, and it's a nice kind of outdoor active fitness thing, whether a local wants to come and do it on a regular basis to just try and stay active and fit, or somebody's on vacation and wants to come through. They'll all have information plaques going from booth to booth, or you call them feature to feature. So
each feature,
you're walking this tightrope, or you're using a skateboard on a zip line, or you're swinging from one step swing to the next. Everything's clipped in with these harnesses and these auto belay systems. But then you stumble on, instead of having a place for a selfie, you have a nice, eco-focused plaque with different information about, you know, the history of the railroad and the Keys and Henry Flagler or something along those lines, so we can kind of tie everything in to, you know, more of the educational focus of the property. I'm good. Still got some.
All right, looks like we got a pro shop here, Matt. So tell us where we're at.
So
how do they find you?
This is the mini Other Side Board Sports at Other Side Adventure Park. Again, Other Side Adventure Park or Keys Cable. Our address is 59300 Overseas Highway in Marathon, but on the island of Grassy Key. Everything in the Keys runs by mile markers, so it's 120 miles from Key Largo to Key West, and we're right in the middle at mile marker 59. Our retail shop is going to host a lot of cool things. You know, all of our standard board sports. It's like a surf shop in a place with no waves. So we got wakeboards, kiteboards, paddleboards, skateboards, all sorts of great little toys like the GoPros. And then we do actually design and make a lot of our own apparel line. So mermaids are real. We used all water-based things, some of the best cottons and materials that we can use. And then all of our fixtures in the store are all made from either recycled or repurposed wood. This is like a Cuban mahogany countertop from somebody's backyard that's been milled about 6 months ago, and it's actually just got 2 coats of teak oil and it's waiting to dry out to get sealed up and put in as another fixture in our main shop. But everything we do is, you know, old school craftsman style, all handmade, legit. And
social media, Facebook, website.
Social media, Keys Cable, at Keys Cable, at Other Side Board Sports, keyscable.com, othersideboardsports.com. If you go on to othersideboardsports.com, we actually have about 6,000 products online for sale. So brick and mortar retail's got to survive with the online world these days. Other Side Loves Me gets you 10% discount at your checkout.
Whoa.
And anything else you need, just give us a call. We'd be happy to give you a conversation and talk about anything you need.
Keep up the good work, Maddie. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.